Welcome in CHGO Big 10 After Dark. Coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. It's the CHGO Bets crew. Thank you. Greg, keep it up.
Greg Bragg's in the background.
Greg, you can't commit to the bit. Clap for us. Keep it up.
Yeah.
You could have kept it going.
Whoever hit the thumbs down, come on, brother.
Already?
Hey, Daniel, do us a
thumbs
favor.
up,
Hit the thumbs up
please.
button. Shout out to Joey Spathis who's producing us. That's Cody Delemendo, my partner in degeneracy. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. Herb Lawrence is our expert in the Big Ten. And I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow us at Sean_W_Anderson. You watch it. We watch it. It's a fun group. You're not an expert at turning your phone.
I don't know that was up.
I thought
that was like I thought Herb was doing a bet.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm talking to Herb, and he's just watching a video. What are you watching? A little wiki?
He's watching us.
I was giving ourselves a thumbs up.
Oh, hell yeah! We got one thumbs up, and it's from Herb Lawrence.
Counteract that thumbs down.
Screw it. I'm going to do it.
Jerk.
Let's jump into the Big Ten football. Oh, and here you go. Now I'm playing it too off my laptop, so we're just doing a good job. This is a good bit. Cody, you want to play something off your laptop? Come on.
Loaf.
Sure.
What?
That's a loaf from you.
Oh, the loaf from my guy. Hits principal.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Eberflus.
I know. I thought it was like a brick.
I'm gonna start handing out loaves.
There he goes. Thank you,
Nice.
Cody.
Good job, Cody.
Appreciate it.
That's our new theme music, by the way.
There you
Just
go.
YouTube cut-ins.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the Big Ten schedule. And unfortunately, Cody, none of these games are being played on a Thursday or Friday. All Saturday, 11 a.m., Indiana at Michigan, number 2 Michigan, number 3 Ohio State at Purdue at 11 a.m., Michigan State at Rutgers at 11 a.m. Then UMass is taking on Penn State in Happy Valley, number 6 Penn State at 2:30. Also at 2:30, your guys' Illini going to Maryland at 2:30. And at 3, Iowa at Wisconsin, which is our headliner because this is the greatest game ever. This is football defined. This is the Big Ten at its peak. It's basically an armed forces game.
Oh my God, yes, that's a great comparison. I can't wait to take the under on Army and Navy when they play later this year.
Guess when the first one is? I think it's Air Force, Navy, and it's next week.
Oh really?
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Oh, I can't wait to take the under. I can't wait.
It's my birthright.
I'll probably take Air Force as well, but
Yes. Saturday, October 21st, 11 a.m. at Navy.
like the trends between military academies over the long span of years, it's very profitable.
35-5-1.
Where are the Coast Guard and Space Force at? Do they get a college team? What the hell?
I agree.
The Coast Guard is just like, what the hell? We're here.
The Coast Guard could probably air it out. I don't know why, but I think that there's something about that school that probably
Space Force would have cool jerseys.
They would.
bet.
They would.
probably their biggest focus is the jerseys.
I would want the Illini to schedule them instead of scheduling these actual good FBS teams like Kansas. Stop scheduling FBS teams. Start scheduling these FCS teams and get that easy dub. Come on, Illinois. Just dumb. Especially this year because they're not going to get to 6 wins. They're not going bowling.
How's the matchup versus Maryland looking?
Not
Terrible.
great, Bob.
Absolutely terrible. Mike Locksley, who is the head coach of Maryland, used to be Illinois' offensive coordinator when we were dominating. He brought in Regis Ben from the D.C. area. He brought in Vontae Davis from the D.C. area. And we had a dynamic offense then. Then he left. I think he was the head coach in New Mexico, went to be a offense coordinator at Alabama, rebuilt his career, and then eventually went up to Maryland. And he's got some players that are going to score some points against the Illini out there in Maryland. I'm not excited about this game at all. Watching last week's Illini game, piss poor.
It was embarrassing, bro.
like Nebraska is terrible. That's how bad the Illini are. Like, Nebraska dominated that game from start to finish.
And only won 20-7.
Exactly. And they're going on the road out there to College Park to Maryland, and they're going to lose by at least 20 points. So if you get a chance, you're outside Illinois, bet again, as I said last week, with the Nebraska Cornhuskers winning that game, bet against the Illini, bet Maryland Terrapins to cover the 15, wherever you get it, maybe 14. Cover it, because it's going to be an easy cover. A very easy cover.
I don't know what happened to this Illinois offense because you mentioned the game against Kansas. I mean, they just give up a ton of points,
Yes.
it feels like, at the beginning of the year. But since the game against Kansas, now their offense stinks and their defense continues to stink. But also, not also, but I feel like in recent weeks, the defense has been better. They forced a ton of turnovers against Nebraska, but then just couldn't score. So it's like roles reverse. It's like, oh, we figured the defense out, but our offense has just gotten worse. Luke Altmaier is not the guy.
Not at all.
And I was optimistic about him because he was coming from Ole Miss, so he played in the SEC. It just hasn't. He's turned the ball over way too much. They don't have a run game. I feel like I was optimistic about Reggie Love, and I feel like he's had some moments, but I don't know, man. I'm a casual Illinois football fan. Like, I don't follow recruiting as much as other people who do, but like, I was sold that Illinois was gonna go bowling every year, man. That's what I was sold.
That's all we asked for.
Yeah, like we would love. We
Just
would
to be
love
Iowa.
to go to the Big Ten Championship every year and get our butts kicked by Ohio State or Michigan. We would love to do that. Last year we got really, really close in a year where I would say the expectations weren't that. And now we followed that year up with just this. It's like we're basketball school, man. Like that's where I'm at.
It's at the point where I'm thinking about Brett Bielema and Barry Lundy Jr., who is the offensive coordinator, to replace Luke Altmaier at quarterback. The one play that they had, the one sustained drive where they scored their 7 points, was a delicious pass from Luke Altmaier to Pat Bryant, who is their veteran receiver, who I believe is going to be transferring out if he's not going to go to the NFL. But I don't think he has the NFL chops because he doesn't get the ball enough. So he's going to be leaving the Illini because the offense is not any good. Casey Washington's been there forever. He's a good possession receiver, but we don't get the ball to these people. Tip Ryman's been there forever as a tight end. He really doesn't get the ball. Like you said, our running game is really bad. Josh McCray was out last week. We had to go with Reggie Love III, who got hurt in that game too. So, yeah, if you're outside of Illinois and you can bet Maryland, please do. Put a lot of money on it too. Because Mike Loxley's team can score, and Illinois cannot.
That's the thing, too, is like, I can't bet on this game, so I really don't care. I mean, like, honestly, Illinois football is depressing to watch. Altmaier stinks.
Yes.
They weren't the fun team that they were last year with running back Chase Brown, and that great defense.
Devin Witherspoon,
right,
who had that huge pick six or whatever for the Eagles recently.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. You know, this is the 1 year they give us. Now we have to suffer through another 10 years of bad until 3 coaches later things are fixed again. That's just what it is. We're a basketball school, bro. I'm on to basketball season. 2 weeks. Can't wait.
Some football schools in the Big Ten that I do want to talk about that I do have bets on. I'm not sure. Chatted with the Discord today, but it seems like it might be smart to play on Donovan Edwards to score. Plus 100. Edwards hasn't scored this year. Last week, J.J. McCarthy had 2 rushing touchdowns on read options. The running back was Edwards on one of those, but he was in goal line scenarios. Hasn't scored all season, and it's likely going to be a rainy Saturday. So I think that the game plan obviously seems like a Donovan Edwards game. Indiana can't stop the run. Blake Corum to score is negative 11 to 1. So if you have 11 grand to throw around, you can win $100. What? Not 11 grand, but
1,100.
1,100. If you have 1,100, you go win 100. But I don't know. Donovan Edwards hasn't scored. I think this could be a game where they try to be like, all right, hey,
do you think Indiana can cover the
33
33 points just based off the weather and Michigan not giving a fuck about this game?
It was 31.5. I think at some point it was
33?
31. If it's now at 33, I'm just staying away from that number. 33 is such a weird, odd
those
number
big
to cover.
numbers, man.
But I think the one game that's the easy cash, Iowa, Wisconsin, 3 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Team total under 11.5 at plus 112 is what I got. Very excited for that number. Kirk Ferentz has the decision on whether he wants a good offense or if he wants his son to have a job. And I think that, if you have a contract stipulation that says you have to score 25 points a game, at least 325 total points in a season, maybe, the discussion shouldn't be should we incentivize him to score. Maybe the conversation should be we should fire his ass.
Yes.
So I'm going to take under 11.5. Bad weather. Wisconsin's got a good defense. And the one thing, too, that I know that Cade McNamara wasn't great, but Deacon Hill can't throw a spiral. He is now replaced Cade McNamara, who's hurt, about 280, a former Wisconsin quarterback. Usually that's a revenge narrative,
You would?
but he plays for Iowa. So I'm going to say under 11.5 because they're probably not even going to score 3.
That's the conundrum that Iowa's had every other skill position for the most part.
Tight end university, as George Kittle said the other day.
And they just can't
Sunday
find
Night
a
Football.
goddamn quarterback. Yes, I'm with you. Under, 11.5 points for Iowa? Hell yeah. The number, the total in that game is like 34.5.
Yep.
That's under 2. And in this series, if you want to just win or lose, Wisconsin's getting way too many points for me. 10 points versus Iowa, to me, is way too many. Because Iowa, one thing they do, they punt a lot, and they play defense.
Yep.
So they're going to play defense. It's going to be a slobber knocker, which Wisconsin's going to win because they've alternated wins the last 4 years with the home team winning each of those games, and Wisconsin is at Camp Randall this week. So I think, what are they? Is it the Florida Rosedale they get, the pig, or what do they battle for? Iowa and Wisconsin. Whatever it is, I think Wisconsin's going to take the game home and also under 11.5 points for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
The last 3 matchups, the team that has lost has gone under the 11.5 points that Sean Anderson is taking. Iowa won the last one, but obviously these teams are different now, and Wisconsin's different. I do like Wisconsin's offense, so I don't know if I think that Wisconsin could easily score 20 in this game. Against a good Iowa defense, all right?
It's just funny in context.
They can score 20. I can see them scoring 3 touchdowns. So 21 points. I can see them scoring 3 touchdowns, and Iowa going under the 11.5, lose 21-10 or something. That's what I see this game is. I think for me, I will be just taking the game total under. And if I can bet on punts, I'm gonna find it.
Well, sorry, what was it?
Punts.
If I could bet on punts, if there's a market for punts, I would love to bet on it.
You would probably just bet under total touchdowns. I think that's a market.
There you
go.
But yeah, no, I might ride the team total as well. So,
and the one thing too is Wisconsin runs the ball a ton. 56.5% they run.
Two really good running backs. I forgot their names, but yeah,
they run the ball a lot.
They run the ball.
I think that just leads to.
I like Mordecai too. Their quarterback is better than any quarterback they've had in a while, in my opinion. So
a lot better than what Florida's throwing out there. Do you like anything else this weekend? Are you guys good? I got a couple more. I got some weird ones.
How do you feel about Rutgers covering the 4.5 against Michigan State? Because I feel like it's a trap, but I'm like. Michigan State stinks, and Rutgers is not bad this year.
Noah Kim looks like an 8th grader. I mean, he is a tiny quarterback.
Yeah.
I just it's not a key number of 3, so I'd avoid it. If it was 3, 2.5, I'd take it with the Scarlet Knights. I think they've been great. I think they're pretty focused, and again, Michigan State's dealing with all that crap. But it's not 3, so I don't know if I'd take that.
5-0 against the spread.
I like
this year.
Pretty damn good.
5-0-1. They pushed against Michigan.
Even though they've covered each one of their spreads this year, 41.5 is way too much wood to be laying, even if it's versus UMass. Give me UMass 41.5.
No.
Aren't they one of the worst? The worst team in the country?
Yeah.
But I I guarantee these coaches at the end of the game, like, it's UMass. Let's take it off here. Handoff. Here, handoff. Not kneel the ball. And I think UMass can score like 6 points. And once Penn State gets up to a 40-point lead, they're like, we're good. No more.
41.5 is a lot of freaking points. There's like this trend out there about Nick Saban. Like when he's like a 50-point favorite or whatever, it's not great.
Yeah.
Like, against the spread, it's not great. So.
There's one trend that I've been watching. There's been 2 matchups in the past 2 years between Georgia and Vanderbilt. The scores, I guess we could just focus on how many points Vanderbilt have scored. 0. So I like Georgia, 31.5. Lay it. Going to Vanderbilt.
In Nashville, too?
Yeah, or you can play under 11.5 with that team, too. I like under 11.5 for Vandy, under 11.5 for Iowa. Over 8.5 receiving yards for Audric Estime. He had 2 catches last year against USC for about 56 yards, and then he got injured in the game. He's not a huge part of their passing game, but I do think that USC is a fairly blitz-happy team. And what do you do when you get blitzed? You dump it off. So over 8.5, that's basically a reception. So if he gets a reception, I do think he goes over that 8.5 reception yards. Going out west to, I think, future Big Ten teams, Oregon and Washington, 8 versus 7. I know that Bo Nix has a narrative of stinking on the road, but a lot of that has been in the SEC. With a boost for this game on DraftKings Sportsbook, and you can check out the 50% boost from DraftKings Sportsbook now. I boosted plus 3.5. I think
this
Oregon
is a new Bo Nix.
Goes in. What's that?
This is a new Bo Nix.
This is a new Bo Nix.
It was impressive against Oregon, or not Oregon, Colorado, which, any offense looks good against Colorado, but he does look way better at Oregon than he ever did in the SEC.
Well, I think the quarterbacks are kind of a wash, and honestly, I think Oregon just has better offensive and defensive lines. So I'll go with Oregon. I'll take him on the money line, but I'll also take him plus 3.5. And then this line is moved, and I think it's because of me. Eastern Michigan is favored, or was favored by 10 points. Lay it with Kent State. I don't think that Eastern Michigan. I don't think that Eastern Michigan wins by 10 for 2 straight weeks. So I'll take Maction, and I'll take the Golden Flashes. I took them on the money line, and I also took them to cover 10 because it's fucking Eastern Michigan. Mm-hmm. That's my thought process.
I like Oregon. I'll ride with that. As far as tonight, I'm taking Houston plus 3. My dabble on the money line against West Virginia.
Revenge narrative, Dana Holgorsen, whatever.
Yeah, perhaps that. I just think that Houston is a better team defensively. They top 100 in passing yards allowed, while West Virginia is outside the top 100 in like every passing category. So I think that as a home underdog, a team that defends the pass pretty well, while also being able to move the ball themselves better than West Virginia has shown, I'll ride that. The one thing West Virginia does do is run the ball, and Houston sucks against the run. So I'm also taking the over because I think there will be points. So give me the over 49.5. So that's my one college play tonight. Also, SMU, Eastern Carolina, under 49.5 as well. Both teams, top 100 defenses in every category, and they love to run the ball. So, and Eastern Carolina stinks. They're really bad. So, anytime a decently better team faces a team that really stinks, I feel like it's either going to be a blowout where the one team doesn't score, or both teams will just play down to each other and we'll just see a lot of punts. So
let's go punts in the CUSA.
Yeah. Any thoughts on future Big Ten member SC playing this week versus Notre Dame?
Give me the Trojans.
I would have thought that the Trojans would have been favored. So I just find it weird that ND's getting
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Coming off the loss, they lost to Louisville, right?
Yeah, lost to Louisville.
Oh yeah, they did.
Lost to Ohio State.
I didn't watch it. I just remember my Twitter timeline just freaking out, which It's a once a year thing for sure.
It's a tough 4-game stretch. It's,
my God.
Ohio State, Duke,
Louisville,
and then
SC.
And then now they have a bye week. So that's the one thing. It's like, do they just go all out?
And this is the thing. They could. I mean, I know they're doing that ACC thing where they're playing ACC teams. They could schedule weaker teams. They don't have to play the champions, guys. You're Notre Dame. Just play the bums, and then after 12 wins, you get to go somewhere special. You're Notre Dame.
You're Notre Dame. Just do what Michigan does. Play nobody.
Yes.
I mean, Michigan doesn't play anybody until Ohio State at the end of the year.
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh, look how good Michigan is. It's just like, no, they just played.
Well, next year, aren't they? They're disbanding the divisions.
The Big Ten West is going to be.
I mean,
bad.
it's not through Michigan's fault. I mean, I blame them, and I don't. At one hand, like, why are you going and scheduling out of conference major opponents if you're going to make the college football playoff every year of just beating the guys that you're going to be on your schedule?
And speaking of you, Joey, I'm sad, man. I'm sad.
Yeah.
What happened, man?
That happens. Hope to see this team again. Texas played a really poor game. It was sloppy, and that's like, you know, I think behind I'd say behind Michigan, Ohio State. That's a classic rivalry in college football. And so anytime you're playing that game, it's at a neutral site. I've been there many times. It's a crazy atmosphere, and anything can happen. It's really, it hurts me to say this, but kudos to Oklahoma because we smacked them 49-0 last year, and people are calling for Brett Venables' job, and he has really turned it around. That defense was great, but you know, I still think Texas is one of the best teams in the country. They were in the game. They were winning with 30 seconds left. And so now you kind of have to have things break your way, but hopefully you get another chance at Oklahoma in Dallas again in the Big 12 championship with a chance to so.
I think it delivers more than Ohio State, Michigan. I think it's a better rivalry than that. I think it's probably the
I
best.
enjoyed watching.
I mean, but the thing is, it really hasn't. This was probably the best Red River game since like 2008. In terms of both teams coming in 5-0, legit playoff aspirations, I think you could see now on both sides. Like Oklahoma's a good team, and it had been one-sided for a long time with Oklahoma, but both ways a little bit. But this was, it's good. It's good for college football when these teams are good, and it was a really fun game to watch.
SEC
It
bound.
was absolute haymakers from the first drive. I mean, Ewers threw a pick on the second play. There was Texas came back. They were faking punts on the first possession, fumbling. I mean, they took years off my life possibly, but you know, it's part of the roller coaster. It's fun to be in this position.
You probably had the same reaction when Suzuki dropped that fly ball when Gabriel led that drive down the field.
That was, I mean, it was miserable. Cody. But here's what I'll say.
Cody's like, I'm right here. You're like, you're Bob Costas. You hear that last night?
That was when Joey was miserable.
It's fun to be in this position. For me as a Texas, I've never been like, you know, whatever. It's good. You're going to lose big games, but at least you're playing in big games. That means something. So. And it's a testament, like you guys are talking about Illinois building. It takes a little bit to build a program that's going to like be in bowl games every year. It's sort of a slow turnaround sometimes in terms of getting your guys in. And I agree, it's probably a little past their time, but what you're asking for is a lot. You know, it's not easy to build a consistent winner.
Not to win 6 games. That's what I'm saying.
Like that was like,
schedule bums.
Sure.
Then you can get your 3 wins versus some Big Ten teams.
I'm excited. Texas actually has in the next 2 years, they've had a great run of non-conference opponents. They played LSU. They've played Bama now twice, obviously. Next year they have Michigan. Following year they have Ohio State. Mixed in with their SEC schedule, that's going to be. So should be fun.
That's good for Michigan because their non-con was East Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green this year. So
Texas, Michigan next year, I believe.
Real quick, want to sneak into DraftKings read. NFL season is going strong. DraftKings Sportsbook has hooked up new customers with an offer that's even stronger. Bet $5 on any game this week to score $200 instantly in bonus bets. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game this October. I like the Ravens getting 4 in London. The Ravens went there on Tuesday. The Titans aren't going there until Thursday. Why? Usually the team that goes there first wins the game. Usually the team that's favored covers. So let's take the Ravens. They had a horrendous game in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely
That Mike Tomlin magic was firing on all cylinders. They dropped 7 balls. I think
Mike Tomlin as an underdog, baby.
They had like 20 red zone drives and had 3 points.
I had so much fun watching that shitty game. Oh my god, it was incredible.
I think this one's gonna be shitty too, and you can bet with it. Bet on it with DraftKings Sportsbook. We have our
and I would
it says
bet it
please
now.
do not provide betting advice on how audience should wager. Whoops.
Sorry.
Get into the game day greatness. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code CHGO. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet 5 on the NFL. That's code CHGO only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please pay responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Licensee partner, Golden Nugget Lake Charles in Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restriction terms and responsible gambling resources. Any final thoughts?
Broncos plus 10.5 tonight. And the under. Primetime unders, 10-6. We ride again.
There's a boost out there somewhere for 50%. I think I'm going to take that to 13.5 because that's near minus 106 with the 50% boost. I don't know if I like the 10.5, but it just seems unlikely that they're going to blow them out by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, divisional games. You give me double-digit points in a divisional game. The Broncos, I know they've been bad, but they're going to get up for this game. They've lost 15 in a row to the Chiefs. I think that they're gonna find a way to hang around. And if you look, like we talked about a little bit yesterday, the Broncos have hung around with the Chiefs in games. They've just lost brutally, and then everyone just dunks on them. So, and I like the way that their offense is playing. I'll give them that much. So, plus the wins, I guess like 20-mile-an-hour wins. I'm still taking Mahomes over 25.5 completions because I think he'll just throw it short a lot. Mm-hmm. A little dink and dunk. You know what he does. But yeah, I think goes under. Well, I got it at 48. I saw it this morning at 47. So get it while you can. I'd play it down to 46.
I'm going Jaleel McLaughlin with the anytime touchdown score tonight.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, give me that guy. Did I do that? Yeah, he scored a touchdown.
Jaleel White McLaughlin. That's going to do it. That's Cody. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. You can follow Herb at Ecknerwall23. What? You can follow Herb at Ecknerwall23. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. And thank you to Joey Spathis for producing the show. We will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
We all silly like the man.